Okay. Hi, everyone. I'll just start by, sharing a bit about myself and my team, and also would like to understand where are you joining in from, which city you're based out of currently. You can, just put it in the chat window. First of all, thank you very much for joining in today. So we host this Glific vodcast every month to share people about what we do at Glific and how you can use Glific's chatbot to scale your impact. So yeah, before I get into the presentation mode, I would just I have two team members with me today. One, we have Abhishek and Krishna. I would request Krishna and Abhishek to just quickly give a intro.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Abhishek. I'm a product manager with Glific. And yeah, I hope to be working with all of you soon. Go ahead, Krishna.
Yes. Hello, everyone. This is Krishna Priya. I'm also a product manager at Glific. As Abhishek said, we are excited to see you on Glific and work with you more closely to take your chatbots to create and make your better impact. Yeah. Over to you, Priya.
Thank you, Krishna, and thank you, Abhishek. Okay, so would be great to know where are you, in which organization are you also working? Would be great to just put down that in the chat window. Yeah, and we're good to start. I'll just start sharing my screen and just give me a minute, please. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat window. We have Abhishek Nair and Krishna to answer your questions. So just keep posting your questions there. We'll take all the questions mostly towards the end. And if you have any questions, just post it on the chat window. Okay, all right. Welcome everyone to this Glific's podcast. So today, what we have, so why we're running this series is basically to we have been working with quite a few NGOs on Glific, and not only on Glific but as part of Tech for Dev. And we have realized that most of the NGOs currently face a lot of challenges when it comes to scaling their impact. They also want to understand how can they monitor their programs better, something to help them with monitoring and evaluation of their programs. They also want to stay connected to all their end beneficiaries at times. So what happens is there's always like a mediator or a program team member who's then linked to the person on the ground. Is there a way so that everyone in the organization can have some sort of a visibility on what's happening, and how can you stay connected to people, to your end beneficiaries? That's one challenge. The other one is how can they utilize their resources, time, and energy better? So these are like some of the challenges which we have seen NGOs face when it comes to thinking about a solution that can help them scale their impact. And that is exactly where Glific comes into picture. So Glific is an open source communication platform. Through Glific, it's a WhatsApp based platform. Through Glific, you can receive messages with your end beneficiaries. You can take control of your programs and take it from, let's suppose, X number to Y number in very little time. So that's where Glific comes into picture. We have close to 70 plus organization with us right now, and we are working with five major sectors. And through the platform, we have exchanged more than 10 million messages through our NGO partners. So just going to go to the next one. These are the list of some of our partners, and I'm just going to pause here. If you see any familiar organization here. Okay. Okay. I'll just talk a little bit more about Glific. We are currently serving 5 to 6 sectors through our NGO partners. Most of them are education-based NGOs. Then we have agriculture and healthcare, and also civic engagement, legal, and finance. So these are mostly the sectors that are that NGOs we work with are using Glific. Okay. We also are currently in 12 plus states and 1 union territory in the country through our NGOs. Okay, okay, so let's just quickly understand what is a chatbot. So before I do that, I would just want to, understand from you if you have interacted with a chatbot before, or is it I just wanted to quickly raise a poll. Yeah, just wanted to know, have you do you know what is a chatbot? And if it would be great if you can just answer this poll for me. Okay. We'll wait for a couple of more seconds. Okay, I'm just going to end the poll here. We do have like a sort of a split. There are people who are new to chatbots, but there are also people who know about it. So in the next couple of slides, what we are going to do, I'm going to just explain what is exactly a WhatsApp chatbot is. And if you have any questions, you can, possibly post it in the chat window. So when it comes to WhatsApp ecosystem comprises of three different types of WhatsApp. The first one is the basic WhatsApp that we all use all the time to connect with our people, friends, family, even people at work. That's the basic WhatsApp. Then we have WhatsApp Business, which is a business WhatsApp. So it's an app-based solution. You have to, for WhatsApp, basic WhatsApp and also WhatsApp Business, you have to have the WhatsApp app on your phone to operate it. But WhatsApp Business API, which is a chatbot, it's a platform-based solution. So in this one, you will be given an access to the platform, and through the platform, you are able to send and receive messages. But for an end user, they would not get to know whether it's a message coming from someone's WhatsApp versus a platform. So that's basically a difference between all different three types of WhatsApp. Platform based because it helps you to have more number of people from your team to use it and control the access and send more information, or have conversations at scale. So that's exactly where WhatsApp chatbot is used. When you compare it to WhatsApp Business, it's the major difference is the reach, because WhatsApp Business is one to many, but WhatsApp Business APIs is a platform-based solution where you get to more number of team members can operate the platform at the same time and talk to the end user. So that's the difference between all the three. So basically, it's a software application that helps you automate your conversations. It's also one-to-one solution. It's not like a WhatsApp group where one person is sharing information within a group. It's not like that. It's one-to-one. It's basically you are talking to your end beneficiaries, but also doing a one-on-one conversation while making sure it's a personal, while retaining the personal touch in that conversation. So that's what a chatbot does. So it's basically used to offload manual load. So at times what happens is, like, let's suppose you have I'm just giving a very basic example. Now let's suppose you have to deliver your program on ground, and there's some FAQs which your students are asking to your program team all the time, and it's the same question which they ask one POC or a one program manager, and that program manager is actually taking care of, let's suppose, 500 kids. Now, the same question, that those conversations, those questions can, the person is actually manually typing those responses and sending to the person. Is there a way to, automate those conversations and let the system handle it? So that's where WhatsApp chatbot comes into picture. You can just post it as an FAQ on the bot itself, and students can get to know about the response. And whenever there's a human intervention required, you can, come into picture. So that's what is a WhatsApp chatbot. It helps you to overcome the barrier of adopting a new technology. So we've also seen with our NGOs, now when we see them working on Glific, they've told us that they have tried out different platforms, like, hey, creating a web-based platform where students would log in, get their information, and it's more like another like a web-based platform. And at times there is resistance in adopting a new technology. So that's not the case in Glific, in WhatsApp chatbot, because it's very easy. Everyone is using chatbot these days. It's offered in multiple languages. It operates with low literacy. You can send voice notes, receive voice notes. It actually operates with low literacy and also low connectivity. So most of the smartphones, most of the people these days do have WhatsApp on their phone, and they can use it to communicate with their people. And it also overcomes the barrier of one-way communication. So you're not only you pushing content all the time, but you're also receiving some sort of a feedback from them. So it's not like a robot is constantly talking to them, but it's also like a two-way communication that's happening. So that's what WhatsApp chatbot is all about. Now I would request Krishna to talk a little bit about Glific's use case. And yeah, Krishna, let me know if you want me to navigate the slides.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sneha. So today we are going to speak about an organization named Digital Green, which work with farmers across India. So Digital Green is an organization who is trying to bring in technology to the farmers. Like, again, these farmers are less literate, do not have access to a very like advanced smartphones, or even like high, like a very fast internet. So Digital Green works with such kind of farmers, and these are generally smallholder farmers. And currently with Glific, Digital Green is working in 3 states: Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Jharkhand. So I'll speak with you on how Digital Green is working with their end farmers. So Digital Green wants to share advisory messages to their farmers. And generally these advisory messages are for the different crops that the farmers are working on. So the farmers which they are working can be working doing on paddy, wheat, groundnut, a lot of different rice, Bengal gram, like multiple crops, and they are generally doing on different crop seasons like Rabi, Kharif, etc. So what Digital Green does is, Digital Green collects these crop age of different farmers, because every farmer might not be starting their farming on the same day. So they might not be like do the seed plantation on the same day. So what Digital Green does is, they get these farmers on the chatbot. They ask these farmers on what stage their crop is in. Like, is it in the initial stage? Is it in a stage 2? So it's not like a stage 1 or stage 2 that the farmers are being asked. They're being asked on a terms which they are familiar with. Like, is it in a seed plantation stage? Is it like, are you doing like a pest control or like pest infection thing? So these are the things that are being asked. And based on what farmers select, Digital Green sends like a customized messages, advisory messages every single day. So Sneha, can you go to the next message? So again, because it's like based on the stage of a crop, these messages are completely personalized to those farmers. And again, it's just not based on the farm. It's all based on the crop. It's also based on the region that the farmer belongs to. So Digital Green have done like an integration of other weather forecast systems with Glific, because of which, based on the farmer's location, like they ask farmers for what location they belong to, and based on the location of the farmers, they are able to give like weather updates, and based on the weather updates, what are the other care that the farmers can do for their crops. So these are a couple of things that Digital Green is doing currently with their bot. Any questions on this part? And okay, and adding to it, as I said, like weather advisory is something that they do. Here, if you see on the right side, they actually share like what is the current weather updates in their particular region and for the whole week. And they also send like messages to check if the farmers are able to follow the advisory, if they need any suggestions, and if like, and at any point of time, it's just not like one-way communication that Digital Green is doing. Farmers can also ask advisory on their other crops. So at any point of time, if farmers have any other questions, they can actually ask to the bot, like, hey, this is the question that I have regarding other crop that I'm working on. So those are the kind of things that also happens. And consistently, the farmers are being asked on the feedback for this particular advisory that they are sharing. And also, the farmers are being encouraged to share the crop picture so that the organization also know what's the progress of different farms. So that is something. And adoption assessment is basically like to check if the farmers were able to follow. It's more like a feedback that is being asked. And through the chatbot itself, Digital Green is able to collect the demographic details of the farmers, like which location they are in, like what's the age, gender of the farmers. So they understand who are the farmers that they are catering to, how is it progressing, how the advice being helpful for them. And they also have another integration with Navana Tech, where they collect like responses from the farmers as a voice note, and they actually convert it into messages for themselves and send the messages. So those type of audio to text conversion is also something which Digital Green has piloted with Navana Tech. Yes. Any questions on this part? I think there are no questions. Over to you, Steve.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Krishna. So that was one of the use cases. And these use cases are mostly, can be done in any sector. So if you have a use case in mind and you want to, automate your conversations, those things are possible through Glific. Like some of our education-based NGOs are using Glific to send activities, worksheets, track class performance, also deliver teacher training. Some of our health NGOs are using it to send weekly reminders. One health NGO, which is Arogya World, is using Glific to send reminders to people to control their diabetes. That's like a weekly message. You can also, so these are certain things. We also already spoke about agriculture-based NGO. So the idea is not to think about this from a lens of a sector, but think about it from a lens where you see a scope of, digitally interacting with your end users, and you want to, automate things, want to take it to scale. That's exactly where Glific comes into picture. Okay, now I'll move into the platform features.
I had a question. I have put that in the chat.
Sure. Krishna, you want to take the question now?
Just give me a second. How is it different from an app? So, it's completely different from an app. Like there are a lot of customization that you usually do in an app, and like creating an app from scratch takes good amount of technical expertise from your end. And like this is compared to a WhatsApp chatbot. A user need not install a new application, because like many of the users in India, like many of the people in India already have a WhatsApp on their phone. So they don't need to install a separate app. It's like a chatbot for you, but like for a user, it's just generally like a regular WhatsApp that they use. So they need not install a new app. And secondly, there is no learning curve because most of them are familiar with what are the different features of WhatsApp, how to navigate. So they don't need to understand how to use it separately. 3, it consumes less data. Like WhatsApp usually consumes less data in terms of sending pictures or any messaging or anything, receiving or something. So that makes it easier even for your users who are staying in a places or who are who do not have a lot of like more data at their end. So like literacy, like easy to understand, like no separate app to be installed and less data consumption. These are the major advantages of it over an app. Again, like there are other advantages of an app where you can add like a different customization which might not be possible on WhatsApp. But WhatsApp, like for some of the use cases that are being mentioned, it is pretty helpful. I hope that answers. Gayatri, do you have any other questions?
We have a question from Shikha, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gayatri, you're saying something?
Yeah, just connected to this, like where the data is then stored. Like you will also receive chatbot through chatbot the lot of data through your beneficiaries where it is stored.
Right now, all the data from the chatbot is stored on BigQuery. So, like with Glific, we usually suggest like we have a template dashboard that we have created, and because that's easy to manage by most of the organization. So WhatsApp data goes into the BigQuery, and the data studio dashboard is connected to the BigQuery. So you have the access to all the data through BigQuery. Like in case you have any organization member who is comfortable with writing queries, you can directly get it from BigQuery. But otherwise, like we have a template dashboard through which you can get a lot of data, or you can even get your dashboards customized based on the needs of your organization or the metrics that you would want to track.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gayatri. Shikha?
Yeah, so
Yes.
just before we take Shikha's question, so Gayatri will be talking about the dashboard in some time, and we'll be just telling you how basically how the data is stored and the template which Krishna was mentioning about. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I mean, actually, I am not a very tech-savvy person and very new to this AI space. So what I wanted to understand was a little breakdown of what you just mentioned in terms of the user cases also. So, like you said that the farmers are able to get now a personalized communication regarding their crops, the advice regarding their crops. So what is it, what kind of data was supplied by the organization to be able to create such kind of advisories for personalized advisories for the farmers? So is it that the organization had, in a document mentioned all the FAQs or all the advisories at one place, and from there the chatbot was picking up the data and answering in response to the questions being asked by the farmers? So how does it really work is what I want to understand. And second question is that like what is the role of Glific in it? I mean, WhatsApp chatbot is something which is available as an open source communication platform everywhere, right? So like where is Glific coming into picture? Sorry, I may be asking very naive questions. That's because
No
I
worries, no worries.
don't know
They're
anything
pretty
about
much
it.
valid. Don't worry about that. Okay. So regarding like your first question, generally, whenever a new organization is starting with Glific, we sit along with them and try to understand why they are using a chatbot first. Like, what do they want to communicate to their end users, or what is the problem that they are trying to solve using the chatbot? So that's the first conversation that we have with any organization that we are trying to, like, who is trying to use Glific. So with that, once we define the use case, you would be breaking it down into different flows. Now, flow is something, imagine like a regular flow chart. Okay. So regular flow chart looks like, hey, I would be sending this question first. If a user says yes, give this response. If a user says no, then give this response. If a user says something else, then give this response. If the user does not respond, then send him this nudge, him or her this nudge. So this is how you would be preparing your content. Like in the case of Digital Green, where I spoke, firstly, they try to identify the problem that they are trying to solve. Then they try to see what are the common questions that the farmers usually ask, or what are the different stages at which they want to send the advisory. So they have created their content saying, hey, these are the different crop stages. Whenever a farmer selects a particular crop stage, after first day you send this message, after a third day you send this message, after fifth day you send this message. So all these things are already created by Digital Green, like, or any organization in that case. And coming to the messages where like the frequently asked questions are coming, they also have like a structure. Hey, these are the 10 questions that the farmers usually ask. So whenever a farmer reaches out to the chatbot, show these 10 questions. Once a farmer selects, hey, this is my question, then answer this. If there's nothing in that selection, if a farmer is asking, what's the structure for answering? So this is how, based on your use case, we will help you define and design these flows. So, but the content on what to send and at what time to send, what frequency to send, like what kind of nudges to send, those are the things that you would be defining, but we'll definitely help you in the process of like thinking through this particular thing. Does that answer your first question?
Yes. So basically what you're saying is that we create a master document preempting what kind of questions will be asked or what kind of advisories we need to send to anybody for that matter.
Yes.
So we have to be really, really very proactive in our thinking that what kind of questions can be asked or what, what do we need to really tell. But what about, let's say somebody asks an out of the box question which is not covered in my master document. Then
Okay. So again, Shika, just want to clarify, this doesn't act like a chat GPT. This is not like a chat GPT where like people are asking random question and it's getting answered or it's picking from your document. So this is, visualize it like a flow chart. So like it acts like a yes, no, if it's selected one, what is the flow that gets followed? If it's select two, what's the flow that gets followed? So that's how it works. Again, answering to your question, if somebody asks a question outside what you have given, you can define how do you want to handle it. So like one way the organizations handle it is they get all these questions on a like a spreadsheet or something, and they try to address it later on. And like we have Swarupa from KEF in this call. The way they handle it is they have like a message, like whenever a new question comes, they send a message to their staff members, and they later on try to call that staff member or like give options like, hey, just give your question here, we'll call and later on address, or they address it over a chat. So there are different ways of handling it. You can define how do you want to handle those questions that are coming in. So basically the flow or the whole flow or the user journey on the chatbot can be pretty much defined by you. How do you want the whole conversations or the user journey to look like?
sure, fine.
Yeah.
That answers my question.
Now, answering to your second question. So Glific provides you the platform to create that WhatsApp chatbot. Again, as I said, it's not like a chat GPT, which is there, which anybody can go, because a chat GPT, like it might give in any context. For example, if a student is asking, like, for example, if I want to send an activity to a student on a regular basis, I can't send it to a available WhatsApp chatbot or a chat GPT using that, because my student might need like the activity that I'm sending to my student may be based on his or her course selected, based on their age group or the language they prefer in. So this Glific provides you a platform where you can design the chatbot based on your needs or like your customer needs. So you can define, hey, what are the different languages my users can have? What is the kind of flow that I want to design? Maybe I would, what frequency I want to send the nudges, or what if my like two of my users are using the same number? How do I create that multiple profiles within the chatbot? Or like if you want to save that data in an Excel sheet, how do you save that? So the platform provides you all these features through which you can design your chatbot. And also at your end, you can make your life much more easier, where you can see everything in a collated format. So Glific provides you that platform to create a chatbot. And again, it's a pretty much low code or a no code platform. Like even like people who are not tech savvy like you can easily navigate because it's much easy. You don't need to write a code as such. You just need to select those features, like how you want the flow to be designed. So like maybe if you just sit with us for an hour, you'll understand how to use at least like 70 to 80% of the platform, or you can create your own chatbot. Okay, great.
Okay.
Srika. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah.
We'll take the questions towards the end, Krishna, now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's just move into the next section, which is on platform features. Now, as Shika shared about how easy or how difficult it is to use the platform. So I'm just going to quickly share how the platform looks like. So once you log in with your credentials, with your phone number and your password, this is the dashboard that you will see. On your right side, you would see all the messages that are being exchanged from the platform. And once you click on any of those messages, you can, look at the chat history. By load more, you can go scroll up and see the chat, whatever chat you had with this user. So that is something which you can see on the dashboard itself. On your right side, on your left side, you have a couple of options here. Flows is basically that section where you actually design the conversation. Like Shika, you were asking that the content is something that, so the content is something that we ask the organizations to provide us. And if they have a conversation in mind, if they have content in mind, it's a very basic drag and drop node system you can use to generate a flow. So that's how a flow looks like. And there's a small preview window here. Whatever conversations you are designing here, you can actually preview it in the preview window. So this is how the dashboard, how the flow section looks like. So for every conversation that you are having with your end user, you will use this flow sections to design your conversation.
This is the chat bot.
Yeah. Not for TMM. I don't think this is good for TMM because it will be highly frustrating to.
Sana, can you please put yourself on mute? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Then you have templates here. Templates is basically pre-approved messages that you have to, you know that you have to send a message to a user outside of your 24 hours message window. You're sending a message to, let's suppose, a user from now on a Sunday, you want to send a message. So templates is basically that. Templates is basically those messages you get it pre-approved from WhatsApp. You will create those template messages here, and they will get approved here. You will see how many of them got approved, rejected, or are in pending mode. Interactive messages are basically these button messages or key messages, list messages. So at times you just don't want user to, if you're, let's suppose, dealing with a lot of students in the class and you don't want them to have a lot of spelling mistakes because that would eventually corrupt your data, you can actually give them button options. And those button options help you get the right data captured in the right format. So that's how you can use interactive messages. It's also good to have interactive messages because at times you want the user to have a quicker conversation with you. And that's why we ask people to use interactive messages. You have your settings and everything here on the corner at the bottom left corner. So you can control the access of your team members. In the basic version, you can have up to 10 team members have the access to the platform. So that's on the platform. Now we'll move into some of our features, which are majorly advanced features. And I request Abhishek to quickly come and share about some of our features. And yeah.
Sure. So hi everyone. Thanks, Neha. So what I'm going to do is take you through a few of these different and very interesting things that you can do and probably want to do as you're thinking about how you want to leverage the WhatsApp chatbot, right? And the first thing I'll start with is natural language processing. And I'll ground these in examples, right? So for example, we have an organization called the Apprentice Project, and they use natural language processing as a way to deal with unexpected user responses. I think someone earlier had asked, right? Like, what do we do if the user or the beneficiary responds with a different message from what I'm expecting? So natural language processing, we use Google Dialogflow for this. What it'll do is it'll read the words in the message. So if someone types a long sentence that I'm not expecting, it'll read the words in the sentence. It will identify the user's intent, which we train the model on. It identifies the user's intent, and then it provides a valid response. So that's natural language processing. Voice support, Krishna has kind of already taken you through. It essentially enables your beneficiaries to send you a voice recording and for you to either see what that voice recording is in text in case your beneficiaries can't type. Or it also, yeah, I think that's the main thing. Beyond that, there are also other ways you can use voice, like for people to call, opt in, and then use the bot. Another thing we've noticed is that, so like Sneha just explained and took you through a little bit of the Glific interface, it's an interface. While we say it's no code, it still requires maybe one person's attention, right? And one person would know how to use that interface. Maybe your curriculum team doesn't know how to use the Glific interface, doesn't have access to the Glific interface, but you want them to update content regularly, right? So we make that possible through a Google Sheets integration. Everyone's comfortable with Google Sheets. They update the content on Google Sheets, and the Glific interface pulls the data from the Google Sheets and delivers it to your end users. So those are the first three. Beyond that, since we work in social impact, often we see that there are single device households, right? In the spaces that we're in. So we have organizations like Antarang and the Apprentice Project who use this feature of multiple user profiles, which essentially means that in a single household, if I have 3 kids and 1 parent, and all of these folks are engaging with my bot, right? What I want to be able to do is for each of them using that single WhatsApp number to be able to have their own independent, unique user journeys, right? So that's possible, right? So just for you to visualize, someone will message hi to the Antarang bot. The Antarang bot will say, hi, are you this person? If they respond no, then it says, okay, these are the other people who are registered on this number. Which one are you? And then you pick which one you are, and then you can kind of pick up from your old progress, and your entire journey from there is served to your specific user profile, in spite of the fact that you have the constraint of only 1 phone number. Beyond that, we have a template dashboard. So I'll just, Krishna maybe has addressed this in some capacity. Essentially, all of this data that is generated through the chatbot is stored in BigQuery. And from BigQuery, we pull that data and we make it accessible to you on a kind of basic dashboard that takes 30 minutes to connect to and gives you 90% of the information about your chatbot program. So you can track each and everything and learn as much as you want to about your program and your beneficiaries. And the last thing is, of course, what this entire chatbot, I mean, the beauty of the chatbot is that as it progresses, as there are more advances in it, you can send personalized content to different people, right? By putting them in different collections, which is, I mean, collections is the Glific word for user segments, right? You can segment them and different segments can get different content. So these are some of the very exciting features that we have that we find orgs that use these are generally doing very interesting, unique stuff. And we hope that once you join, you'll kind of use them too. Yeah, that's it from me. If you have questions, you can put in the chat box. We'll take it at the end. Over to you, Sneha.
Thank you, Abhishek. That was helpful. I would also request you to just have a template dashboard ready so that we can, towards the end, we can showcase one of the template dashboards and how organizations are using dashboard to track their data.
Sure.
Okay, thanks. Okay, all right. Let's move into we're towards the end of the session. So why Glific? So Glific is basically built for nonprofits. So we just work with nonprofits. It's a no-code platform. It's easy to launch, pilot, and scale. We provide extensive documentation. Nair and Krishna, if you can pull the documentation link and paste it here. So we have documentation for each and every feature. So you can, use a documentation to understand what are Glific's features, how's the onboarding process. Everything is there in our documentation, and that's like a guidebook for all of our NGOs. And we are a strong community. We also keep posting a lot of blog posts on different features, upcoming features, and also how's the community doing, not just on Glific's chatbot, but also on like other technology things you can do apart from technology interventions that Project Tech for Dev is doing currently. So yeah, talking about the support, we offer extensive support through Discord. So most of our NGOs come on Discord and they type in their query, they get responses, and yeah, so that's Glific support is actually one of the best things which our NGOs have been talking us about. And we hold quarterly sprints. So sprints are a space where we ask our NGOs to come together, speak to us in person, work with us on a particular feature for their chatbot, and help us, problem solve with any challenge that they're facing with respect to the bot. So it's a 3-day event that happens in person. We do host spotlights every month. Spotlights are basically advanced webinars. We call them Level Up with Glific. And through Level Up with Glific, we are showcasing about different features and also, making you aware about how other NGOs are using Glific at the moment. Okay, now on the last bit, how to get started onto Glific and the pricing. So we offer 2 modes of pricing. One is basically do it yourself or a SaaS model. The other one is do it for me, which is consulting. SaaS model is basically we do the basic setup for you, and then we hand it over the platform to you, and we also help you with an onboarding, help you in onboarding through an onboarding conversation. We'll tell you about the platform features. We'll help you design basic flows in the beginning, as we provide consulting, 5 free consulting hours in that. And that's like the basic model. The other one is do it for me, which is a consulting model where organizations come in with a request that they have with respect to the bot, and we design the bot from scratch for them. And they work with us, and they actually, tell us, are there other things that they want us to do. So this is based on consulting fee on top of the basic setup charges. I'll share the pricing link towards the end of this conversation. When it comes to the setup process, it's a fairly simple process. You need a phone number that you would want to use for the chatbot. You need to have Facebook Business Manager account verified. Once these 2 things are there, we help you set up Gupshup and Glific's instance. Once that is done, you're ready to design your conversational flow. The most tricky part here is the Facebook Business Manager verification process. So that's something that takes a lot of time. So if you're ready to explore Glific, keep that in mind, that Facebook business verification at times takes close to a month's time to, get processed. Yeah. Okay. Also, another exciting thing that we're doing now is we are having city meetups, and Krishna and Abhishek are leading the city meetups. We are having our first city meetup in Bangalore on 9th of June. So this is like an event where you can come and understand how Glific can be part of your programs. It's also if you're already onboarded onto Glific, you should definitely attend this event and learn from each other how they're using their bots, and it's great to network and learn from each other. So yeah, so these are like these are a couple of locations where we are having the city meetups. I request Krishna and Aya to just share the link of the sign up here, so that people, if they're interested, they can sign up for the city meetup.
Abhishek just shared the link on the chat. So even if you are new, if you want to understand Glific better, our community better, or want to speak with organizations to understand their experiences or how they use their chatbot, you can please come here so that we can like speak more in person.
Thank you, Krishna. Okay, so with the need of designing user-centric tech solutions and rise of AI, NLP, and nonprofits globally are adopting chatbots to deliver their program. It's a question for you. Are you next? Okay, so we are at the end of the session. We have 12 minutes here with us. If you have any questions, you can, unmute yourself and share. I do have a couple of questions which people have asked over the registration form. I will pull those questions then, if you don't have any. Okay, I'll just ask the first question then. Okay, so someone has asked, they would like to understand ChatGPT integration for Glific. So Krishna, would you like to take that one?
I can take that up. Okay, so we are currently experimenting the ChatGPT integration with Glific with one of our organization called the Apprentice Project. The way we are doing it is like we are giving the knowledge, because the Apprentice Project works with children of age group like who are from grade 4 to 9. So they are slightly younger kids, and with their context, if we are giving like a complete GPT integration, like if a kid can ask any question, they'll continuously probably keep on asking questions and might just not get answered. So to solve that problem and to ensure that this children's questions on their content, the content that they are sharing is getting answered, they are using this ChatGPT integration. And the way we are starting the pilot with them is we will give the knowledge base to the ChatGPT. So in TAP's case, the Apprentice Project case, they'll be giving their activities in a text format, and we commonly ask questions as a knowledge base. So any questions that the students are asking around in those subjects, the ChatGPT or the bot will answer. And if there are questions that are coming outside, it will probably redirect them to their teacher, or like just make a note of that question to get answered later on. So that's how currently we are exploring ChatGPT integration with TAP. Any questions on that? Yeah, I think.
There's one more question, which is on, is there a way to send bulk messages without storing the number?
We don't recommend that. Firstly, I didn't understand the question without saving the number. Like, do we have the person who asked the question here?
No, I don't think so. But I think the assumption is like doing a mass broadcast without saving a number.
Generally, whoever comes on Glific, their number gets saved. So like at our platform and their number would be there. So if you're talking about the user need not save your number. Like user need not save the chatbot number as such. That's not required. Once they are on Glific, we have the access to send, we have the permissions to send the user. But like user need not save the number. If that's the question, yes. And the bulk message is of course possible.
If it's okay, can I add this? I think in a individual WhatsApp, you have to save the number to send the WhatsApp message, right? Like, I mean, so from that point of view on Glific, you don't need to, if I'm understanding you right, we don't need to save the person we are sending the message to their number.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Like you or have the WhatsApp name that the user have put for themselves on your Glific platform. So there's no separate saving process as such.
So just to maybe clarify that a bit more, the way this would work is you may have a list of 1,000 phone numbers. You can put those 1,000, you can message a first message to those 1,000 phone numbers. But after that, what we want and what WhatsApp requires is for your users to opt in. So those 1,000 people have to give consent that they're okay with you messaging them. That's an important part before you continue to send them a lot of messages. So while it's not the same as saving a number, it's something worth mentioning in this context that you can't just have a bunch of numbers and keep shooting messages at them. If many of them block you, then the report goes to WhatsApp and then your chatbot can be shut down for a month or two. So that is something to keep in mind.
And usually you can take consent in two ways. On WhatsApp, you can take consent. It is as simple as, hey, would you like receiving messages from us? Or you can take consent separately in a written form or like a recorded format from your users. If in your context that works. Like for some of our organizations, they go on field, so they take consent in a hard copy, like a signed copy or something. And in case WhatsApp comes back, like you have the proof to submit. That's right.
I think it can be done in another way also, that when you're sending the first message to mass group people, at the end of the message, there is a, small, survey kind of a thing where there are options: continue to receive messages from us or unsubscribe, something like that. And people are not interested in getting the messages further, they can unsubscribe and, you stop.
It's there. But usually it's preferred to ask as a first question. Like that's what we recommend. But yeah, that's also a possibility. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Krishna. Abhishek, would you like to show the the data dashboard so that people can see how? I'm just going to give you the permission.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll do this really quickly.
Sure.
So yeah, what I'm going to, let me first share my screen. What I'm sharing with you now, if you can see my screen, this is our template data dashboard. What you're seeing, the statistics you're seeing are for the Glific WhatsApp chatbot. Okay. So Glific also has our own WhatsApp chatbot. If you go to our website and click on, hey, WhatsApp this number, then you will message our WhatsApp chatbot and then your data will be captured here, right? And similarly for any of you, this template dashboard, right, which has all of these things in it, which, if you remember, I mentioned earlier, covers 90% of any of the details you would need beyond custom contextual data points that you may need for your program. So you would just need to make a copy of this dashboard connected to your data source, which would be for your chatbot. And all of these stats will pop up for you, right? It gives you things like your engagement, right? So how many folks are active in a given time period, how many messages have been exchanged in that time period, how many folks are receiving messages from you, how many are responding to the messages you sent, right? So over here, I'm seeing a 91% response rate. That's an important statistic if that's your program that requires engagement, if it's not just an information dissemination kind of program. You can also see things like how many conversations are happening. This has implications on your cost. You can also see how many folks have opted in. We just spoke about opting in, right? So how many have opted in, how many have opted out. When you're launching your program, this becomes important. Other things you can do is like for different flows, and when I say flow, you can understand it as a user journey. For different user journeys, where are folks getting stuck? What's going well? What's not going well? Who are your most active contacts? You can see a list over here and then, maybe reach out to them, understand what's working for them, what's not working for other people. And yeah, and I think one last thing worth mentioning is you can also see, right? Remember we spoke about segmentation. So segments are collections essentially. So you can also check by collection, right? Who's in which collection? How many people do I have in each collection? What's their activity? You can check that through collections, contacts, collections, messages. And yeah, this should give you, this just helps you, learn and iterate your program using data, which is something we're big on. So yeah, that's it from me. If you have questions, please feel free to ask.
Thanks, Abhishek. Any last questions?
Hi, Sneha. So I'm just wondering because I think somewhere I read that if your organization reaches more than 500 people, right? Like, so then that's when Glific is most useful. So let's say we have beneficiaries who are maybe about 100, but then we do have volunteers and, the other stakeholders from the institutions and other places. So if we what do you suggest? Like, should we wait for a beneficiary count to go above 500? Or does that mean that, you have different user groups and then, overall we can, because I can think of how Glyphic can help, but at this point our numbers are too small. So would it make sense to even think of it right now?
See, it actually depends. So ideally, it's better if you have more than 500 beneficiaries. But if you think that your program is quite intense, even with 100, 200 beneficiaries, and you are communicating frequently with them, you're collecting data, and you also want to have communication with other, probably volunteers or keep other people engaged, then it would make more sense. But if the volume of the messages that you're exchanging through the platform, if that is low, and if the beneficiary count is also low, then it doesn't make more sense, because this requires a lot of resources from your end to set it up and also maintain it. So in that perspective, it's better if you can think about it. I mean, how you can think about what sort of a workflow would you like to have, and we can have a conversation with you to understand whether this is the right tool for you or not.
Yeah, thank you.
Any last question? Also, I have shared a feedback form. It would be great if you can just spend last 1 minute to give us the feedback on the session. This will definitely help us in, preparing for our next month's podcast better. Sure, Mohammed will just share the pricing with you.
I think just one thing is, I mean, understanding the platform is one piece, but how people are using it. Like, I mean, for us, we work with youth, so how Antarang is using it, or how Saturday Art Class is using it. Somewhere, if some of those examples are, included, then that kind of gives a better understanding of, what exactly how can we leverage this platform in some ways.
Sure.
So you can definitely go check out our blogs. I think that was Sachi, right? Yeah, you can check out our blogs. There are some videos on YouTube channels that will give you a sense of it. And if you want to try out the chatbot, you just let us know separately. We can share the number with you and you can text it and see what that interaction is like. Hope that's helpful.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, all right then. So next month's podcast we're going to do specifically for education use cases. So if you're interested, feel free to sign up for that as well.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your time.